What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today on this video we'll be doing question 4 of this question paper. So this question paper here is mathematics and 4, which was written 2018 28 March. So the time allocated for this paper, it was 3 hours. So we already done question 1, question 2, and question 3. So there are videos here. Go and watch them if you want to watch those videos there in a sequence. So I'll just gonna place a playlist here which is gonna pop up. So go and watch it because I place them in a sequence order. But you can always watch this one and finish it, and at the end of this video that playlist is gonna pop up as well. So if you feel like you want to watch this one first and then watch the other last, it's fine. All right, guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel and you're new, I would advise you to subscribe. As you can see, I'm doing previous question papers, and when you subscribe, don't forget to hit the bell notification so that whenever I upload a video, you will be notified. All right, people, so let's start. Let's do our question, which is question 4. So let's scroll down there. We are done with question 3. As I'm scrolling down here, guys, let's do question 4. Already I highlighted question 4 there. Okay, now let's look at this question. Let me just take it this. Yeah, let's look at this question here. So question 4.1, they what is it that they want here? So let's read the information here. First, erase this so that you can able to read it all together. All right, so what is it that they want? Highlight there. Let's read there. 4.1, in the application of Kirchhoff's law in a circuit, the following equations are obtained. So this is just the statement. So we have this equation here, equation number 1, equation 2, and equation 3. Now what is it that they want us to calculate here? They determine the value of I3 by only using Cramer's rule. So this chapter here, guys, is determinant. I hope you were in class when we're doing determinant. If you're not, then let's hope this is gonna help you understand much better. So this, it was about 8 marks. All right, so as you can see, we have this equation here, and then if you can see the first equation, I2 is on the other side, so we need to transpose it to the other side. And we also have I3 also, which is on the what is this, the right hand side. We need to take it to the left hand side. And also I1 here on the last one, it's on the right hand side. We need to take it to the left hand side. So before we start, we need to rewrite this. So let's start. So we have we have 3. Let's start with this equation here. We have 3, and just write on top here, this is 4.1. so we have 3 I1, right, plus, wait, we cannot say plus, we need to say minus, because if we take this I2, 5I2 to the other side, it's going to be minus 5I2 plus 3. Remember, guys, they must be in an order. Plus 3I3, and then we leave the constant here. We leave the constant here, which is 7, 5, which is 7, 5. There we go. All right, so let's continue. Let's do the second one. Let's rewrite the second equation. So the second equation is gonna be 2I1, and then plus I2. As you can see, this one is still fine. Now we're gonna take this 7 I3 to this side, so it's gonna be negative 7 I3, and we are left with what on our left hand side. On our right hand side, we're gonna be left with 17,5. There we go. So the last but not least, as you can see, I1 it's on the right hand side. We need to take it to the left hand side. So if we transpose it, we're gonna have negative 10 I1 plus 4 I2 plus 5 I3. The answer is going to be 16. So our constant here is 16. So guys, when you're able to write it like this, it's time for us to write it in a matrix order. Okay, so remember, we only take the coefficient of the i's here. So for example, let's start with the first equation. So the coefficient of I1 for the first equation is going to be 3. And then the coefficient of I2 is going to be negative 5. And the coefficient for I3 is going to be positive 3. I hope you guys can see that. And now let's go to the equation number 2. The coefficient for I1 is going to be 2. The coefficient for I2 for the second equation is going to be 1. The coefficient of I3 is going to be negative 7 for equation number 2. The last equation, the coefficient here is going to be 10. Negative 10, by the way. The coefficient for I2 is going to be 4. And then the coefficient for I3 here is going to be 5. So we are fine. We leave it like this. Okay? So this is fine. So when it's like this now, we can able to work with this. So what is it that they want from us here? They want us to determine the value of the I3 by only using the Cramer's rule. So the Cramer's rule here, we need to first find the determinant. So before we find the determinant though, we have what you call the cofactor. I'm gonna write the cofactor here. Let's write it here. Or let me just write it on the question paper. Let me write it on the question paper. So the cofactor, I hope you're able to see. The cofactor is the signs within the matrices, the matrix. So we have the first one is positive, and then the alternate is negative, then the other one is positive. And then on the second, it's the first one is negative, and that one is positive, and this one is negative. And then that is going to be positive, negative, and positive. These are the cofactors. Always like that, guys. If you can able to know the first one, just know that they alternate. The first one is positive, then negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive. That's it. They just alternate. All right. So, but before we start, before we continue, you need to know that we have a column. So this side here, I'm gonna highlight not highlight yet. We have a column. So column is when you have for example, the first column here is gonna be 3 to 10, and then we have a row. A row is going this direction in a vertical direction, or in a vertical direction, which is 3, negative 5, and 3. Column on a horizontal. Oh, I mixed them, guys. A column is on the vertical direction, like up or down, and then a row is on a horizontal direction, left and right. Okay, so I hope you can able to see that. So before you find the determinant, guys, you just need to choose at least one column or one row. So I would advise you guys to use a column, the first column or the first row. This one is up to you guys. Let me just highlight it. So let's use the first column. Can we use the first column? Let's use the first column. I'm gonna highlight it like this so that we know that we're gonna use this first column to use the numbers as minus. Okay, So we use the first column. So these numbers that are going to appear, 3, 2, and -1, they're going to be in minus. They're going to help us to find the determinant. So let's do it. So guys, before we start, the formula for determinant, usually it's let's say we have 1, and let's say we have a, and then we have a1. Let's say we have a2, a2, and then you have b1, for example, and then you have b2. Just an example, guys. The formula for finding the determinant, you multiply a1 with b2, so it's a1 multiplied by b2, then minus, always minus a2 multiplied by b1, so a2 multiplied by b1. So this is the formula to find the determinant, just in case you forgot. So here we need to use a minor to find our determinant. So we start here with 3. So with 3 here. So when you start with 3, we need to cancel the side, meaning if we take 3 as a minor, we have to cancel it here, guys. Okay, these two parts here we cancel, so you're gonna be left with 7, with 1, -7, 4, and 5. So let me try to find some but yeah, that's what you're gonna be left with. So let's do it. So when the minor, let me just scroll this down. We're gonna need more space, guys. I need more space. Okay, yeah, for now this is what you're gonna need. So when the minor is 3, start by finding the determinant. You're gonna need this space here. So when the minor is 3, the row that is within that 3, the column that is within that 3 is cancelled, and the row is also cancelled. Left with 1, -7, 4, and 5. So we can write it like this for you to understand. Guys, we write the minor, but if you look at the cofactor is positive here, so this is going to be +3. Then you write them 1, -7, 4, and then 5. I hope you guys understand, because I feel like I'm all over the place though. Right, then you go to the next minor, which is going to be 2. So if our minor here is 2, this is going to be cancelling this way and that way. So you're going to left with -5, 3, 4, and 5. So don't forget, if the minor is 2, we're going to be cancelling this way and that way. Okay, -5, 3, 4, and 5. But now let's look at our cofactor here. So our cofactor is going to be negative. Since we have 2 here, so our cofactor is going to be negative. All right, so this is going to be negative, right? So remember, our what is it that we're going to be left with here? It's going to be -5, -5, and then 3, and then 4, and 5. Okay, this is a long way of doing it, but I think it's necessary for us so that we can able to find the right answer. Okay, now let's do the other one, the last one. Now this time around, the minor is gonna be -10. So 10, and when we cancel the row and the column of this 10, the column and the row, we left with -5, 3, 1, and 7. Since 10 is positive and the minor there, since 10 is negative and the minor there is positive, so we can write it as negative 10. Okay, guys, I hope this one affect the audio. The thing is starting to be slow now, the computer. Okay, so we're gonna left with what? -5, and then we have 3, and then what else do we have? 1 and -7. Okay, let's double check, guys, if this is correct. Remember, we are cancelling this row here and that column. We left with negative 5 3 1 negative 7. All right, so we are fine. Okay guys, I hope you can able to do this one here. So let's do it. So here's what we supposed to do it. We have D, then we have 3. So here's how you're supposed to do it. Say 1 multiplied by 5. So 1 multiplied by 5 is what you get there, minus, always minus guys. Okay, negative 7 multiplied by 4, negative 7 multiplied by 4. All right, so this is gonna be our, it's gonna be this one here. Let me just erase this 4, doesn't look so good. Negative 7 multiplied by 4. Okay, yes, this is what we have here. All right, so we go to the second one here, minus 2. With minus 2 now, we're gonna have negative 5 multiplied by negative 5. We put this on the bracket, negative 5 multiplied by negative 5. And then we say minus. Always, guys, you multiply this, and then you multiply this. And then it's gonna be 3 multiplied by 4. 3 multiplied by 4. There we go. And then close the bracket. Now the last one, I hope you're gonna have enough space here, but if you don't, let me just create a little bit of space here. And minus 10. Remember the minor is gonna be outside, guys. Okay, so this time it's gonna be negative 5, negative 5 multiplied by negative 7. Then minus, okay, minus 3 multiplied by 1. So this is gonna be 1 multiplied by 3. So this is what we're going to have. I hope you guys can see though. Remember, it's the first multiplied by the last, and then minus the by the product of the second multiplied by the third. And then we come here, the first multiplied by the last, the second multiplied by the third, and then and so on and so on. So if you continue here, this is gonna give us 3 inside the bracket there. We'll be having 33. There we go. But you can use your calculator, guys. You can pause and use the calculator and see if we have the same thing. And then here we're gonna be having 2, and then we use 37. Okay. And then here we're gonna have negative 10, and then inside there we're gonna have 32. So when you multiply this, they must give you, when you put everything in a calculator here, this should give you negative 147. Guys, please be careful when you use a calculator here, guys. Be very, very careful. It's very possible for you to make a mistake here. Okay, now we managed to find the determinant. Okay, now in order for us to continue to find the determinant for, let me just open the space here. In order for us to find the determinant for I3, remember we need to find the determinant for I3. So what's gonna happen, guys? Let's go back on top here. Just go back. I want to explain something. In order for us to find the determinant for I3, I want to show you something. You see these constants here, you have to move them where the values or the coefficient of I3 are. Basically what I mean is, instead of writing 3, you must write 7.5. Instead of writing negative 7, you must put in 17.5, and then instead of 5 you're gonna write 16. The reason why we put them here is because we are looking for the determinant for I3. So let's rewrite this where we just change only the where we substitute only the constant. I hope you guys managed to understand that one. So I have to redo this matrices. I hope this is gonna be enough. So I have to zoom it out, guys. I have to zoom it out. So let's do it here. Let's do it here. All right, close this, and then let's rewrite. So okay, guys. So let's redo it. So let me try to do it like this. There we go. And then we know that this is going to be 3, this is going to be 2, and that is going to be negative 10. This is going to be negative 5, that is going to be 1. Let me just, space is too much. It's going to be negative 5, that is going to be 1, and that is going to be 4. And then this one here, remember we substitute with the constant here. So we have to, okay, it's fine, I can able to see them here. We have 7, 5, and then here we have 17, 5, and the last one here we have 16. There we go. And then we can leave it like that. Okay, let me just go back a bit, and we can just, yeah, it's fine like that. All right, it's time for us to break this downwards. Okay, we just leave it here. Remember, this is question 4, so this, I don't know what's happening here. Okay, let me just erase this. It's still fine, it's still fine. So let's zoom in. Zoom in, guys. Okay, something I need to. Okay, it's fine. Let's leave it like that. Okay, let's leave it like that. What's happening, guys? What's happening? What's happening? Okay, yes. So let's continue, guys. Sorry for wasting the time. Excuse me there, guys, but we have to do it this way. Okay, let's look at our question 4. Let's look at our question 4. Now, remember, now we are trying to find the determinant of I3. So the determinant of I3, again, guys, I would say choose the first row, by the way. Okay, choose the first. Let me just highlight again. Choose the first column only. You can choose any column, any row, by the way, in order for you to use this as your minus. Okay, you can choose any of these two, any column, by the way, guys. But it's easier when you choose the first row or the first column. So I decided to choose the first column. Okay, let's continue, guys. So the determinant of I3. Now let's start. If we take 3 as a minor, remember we have to take 3 as a minor. So if you take 3 as a minor, you see what you're gonna be left with here. You're gonna be left with 1, 17,5, 4, and 16, and the cofactor here is gonna be positive. So when we write this, it's gonna be 3, and then let's look at what we left with here. We're gonna left with 1, okay, and then we have 17 and a half, okay, and then we have 4, and we have 16. Then there we go. Right, now let's go to the second one. Now when you go to the second one, which is going to be 2, let's see if we scratch there. The row of 2 is going to be cancelled, and also the column of 2 is going to be cancelled. So you're going to be left with negative 5, 7, 7,5, 4, and 16. But since the cofactor is going to be negative here, so it's going to be negative, and then our minor is 2. So let's write what we are left with here. Remember, we are left with negative 5. There we go. And then 7,5. I hope you guys can see. And then 4, and then 16 here. Guys, I hope you're paying attention here, because this one can be challenging. Right, now if we use 10, negative 10 is our minor. Remember the highlighted one, those are the minus. So let's just okay, I don't know why the red pen is going to be permanent then. It's going to be this row and that column. So we left with negative 5, 7,5, 1, and 17,5. All right, so let's look at the cofactor. Our cofactor is positive, but our minor is negative. So this is going to give us a positive, a negative answer. So it's going to be negative, then 10, then this do it. So if this is our minor, we have negative 5, right? And then we have 7 comma 5, okay? And then here we have 1, and then we have 17 comma 5. Right, this doesn't look like 17, but guys, it is 17, okay? It is 17. And then that's what you're left with. So remember guys, we need to do the multiplication, so let's do it. ID3. Okay, I know this is gonna take a little bit of time, but guys, remember the aim is to understand. Okay, so how do we do it? We say 1 multiplied by 16. Remember, it's the first and the last first, so it's 1 multiplied by 16. There we go, minus, now this product here, minus by the 17 multiplied by 17 comma 5 multiplied by 4. I think we're gonna need more space here, and then we have minus here. Okay, now negative 5 multiplied by 16, this is gonna be, put it in the bracket since it is negative 5 multiplied by 16, right, minus, and then we have 7 comma 5 multiplied by 4, 7 comma 5 multiplied by 4. There we go. I need to open more space, guys, unfortunately. All right, so the last one, which is gonna be 10. There we go, 10. The minor is 10, and then what about what is inside 10? We have negative 5 multiplied by 17. Negative 5 multiplied by 17 comma 5. There we go. And then minus, let's open a bit again. Okay, we have that. Let me just get rid of this, guys. This is kind of requires some space. Okay, so we said negative 5 multiplied by 17 comma 5 multiplied by 7 comma 5 multiplied by 1, so minus 7 comma 5 multiplied by 1. There we go. Now this is our equation. Now it's time for us to start multiplying. So let's multiply, and let's see what is it that we're gonna be able to come with. Okay, so let's do it, guys. Let's do it. Okay, so let's do it. Di 3, the first one is going to be 3, so inside the bracket there we're going to be having 54. There we go. And then we have negative 2, the minor. Then inside the bracket here we're going to have negative 110. Okay, and then the other one is negative 10. As much as they're long, when it comes to this part, they're no longer that long anymore. We're going to have negative 95. All right, so now that we managed to get this, it's time for us to find the final answer. So the final answer for the determinant of I3, if you put this on a calculator, you will have 1008. So that is your determinant for what is this? I3. Okay. Now, how do we calculate the unknown? Remember, the question is calculate. Let me just go back. Remember, the question says calculate the value of I3. Now, when you calculate the value of whatever that is required for, in this case, it's I3. The formula is like this: I3 is equaling to the determinant of I3 divided by the determinant that we calculated earlier on. Okay, so if you still remember, the determinant of I3 is this one here, which is 1008, divided by the determinant that we calculated earlier on. Let me just go up so that you can see it. This one here, and then when you divide there, this determinant is going to be, don't forget that determinant, it's also negative, so it's negative 147. And then our final answer is going to be 48, negative 48 over 7, or if you decide to write it in a decimal point, it's going to be negative 6 comma 857 857. So this is your I3, guys. I hope you manage to get this one, guys, because it has a lot of things to do, but it makes sense because it's um, 8 marks. So I hope you manage to see to get this one, guys. As you can see, we have a lot of determinants to get to you have a lot of metrics to do, a lot of things to do here, guys. Anyway, and don't forget that you need to know the cofactor, right? The cofactors are very important. Okay, guys, let's just pause on this one and then we'll do question 4.2. All right, guys, now let's do 4.2. Now 4.2, it has 4.21, 4.22, so we must able to do these ones here. So what is it that they want us to do here? Let me just highlight. Remember, let's just highlight. So 4.21, they want you to determine the cofactor of -1. Now when you look at our matrix here, -1 is this here. Do you guys see? Meaning now we're gonna treat this -1 as a minor. Now let's write our cofactor here because it's very important for us to able to write our cofactor. Remember, we have positive, negative, positive, and then we have negative, positive, and then positive, negative, and then negative, positive. This is our cofactor, guys. Just like the first question, cofactor, cofactor. Just like the first question 4.1, we use the cofactor. Guys, you must know this cofactor in order for you to able to solve these problems. So let's do it, guys. Let's do it. So what's happening here? We're gonna use this -1 as a minor, but this time around, remember, guys, we don't multiply it there just like we did with the determinant. Here's what I am talking about. So the cofactor, let's say 4.2.1. So the cofactor of -1, you can write here. Even if you don't write, we know that this is what you are looking for. You have to do this. -1 is equaling to. Now it's time for you to cancel the rows. So if we use -1 as a minor, let me just do this. If you use -1 as a minor, remember this row here and that column, they're gonna be cancelled out. So meaning now we're gonna be left, let's do it again, this column, this row, and that column. We're gonna be left with 1, 5, -2, and 7. So let's go and do it. So but before we do that, let's look at the minor, the cofactor. Now the cofactor, this is the third when you are with this, the second when you are looking on the last row. So the last row, the second, the sign here is going to be negative. That has nothing to do with this negative here, so you're just going to write it here. This -1 is this sign, so you write you do your matrix there. So remember, when the minor is -1, this row cancels and that column cancels. Left with 1, right? And then 5, don't forget this column cancels, so is this column there that is left. And then let's look at another one, which is going to be -2 and 7 and 7. There we go. I hope you guys can be able to see this. It doesn't look so good, but let's do the 7. Just write it nicely, guys. -2, okay, and 7. There we go. So this is our matrix here. So -1 is equal to, now let's find our determinant. negative there. So we say 1 multiplied by 7. This is going to be 1 multiplied by 7. This one is so simple, guys. Minus, and then 5 multiplied by negative 2. 5 multiplied by negative 2, and then the answer here, the negative minus, the answer is gonna give us negative 17. If you put that on your calculator, this is gonna be negative 17. So this is how you get the minor or the cofactor of negative 1. So that's the answer, guys, negative 17. Hence, this is how many marks? This is 2 marks. You see, 2 multiplied by 2, there are 2 marks. That's why it's so short. Now, what about 4.2.2? 4.2.2, remember, guys, is this one here, is this one there. Now, they gave us the minor. Let's read that. They say determine the minor of 0, the minor of 5 there. All right, so we need to find the minor of 5. All right, so let's highlight 5. So 5 is here, as you can see. Now, how are you gonna do this? We do it exactly just like the first one here. Now we just need to highlight. If the minor is 5, what is it that we're going to be left with? We're gonna be left with negative 2, 3, 6, and negative 1. So let's do it. Let's do it. Okay. This time around, even if you don't write it like this, because they want you to find, determine them the I think it's a cofactor, guys. Just do as you've done there. So it's gonna be 5, right? And then let's look at the cofactor signs here. So where is 5? 5 is on the last. It's on the, in fact, on the first row, and then on the first row and the last column. So this is 5 here. So when you look at the first row and the last column, this is gonna be positive. So even if you don't write here, we are fine. Remember, this is the sign that you write in front of this matrix here. So when you cancel there, you're gonna be having negative 2. And then what else do we have here? We're gonna have 3, and you also gonna have 6 and negative 1. There we go, guys. There we go. Then we start finding our answer here. So our answer, if you say negative 2 multiplied by negative 1 minus, always, guys, is like when you're calculating the determinant. 3 multiplied by 6. 3 multiplied by 6. There we go. So our answer here is gonna give us, so what is our answer? This is gonna give us negative 16. There we go. So this is our final answer. As you can see, this was not much of a challenge, guys. These were 3 marks, to be honest with you. So this is 2 marks and that is 2 marks. Do not forget, guys, that this sign here comes from the cofactor. Okay, this sign that you see here, it comes from the cofactor. Remember, the minor here was negative 1. The negative 1 has nothing to do with this sign, guys. Be very, very careful. Here we don't have a sign because the cofactor sign here is positive. Here, the cofactor sign here is negative. Then you start working out your problem. All right, guys, let's pause and let us do the other question. All right, guys, now let's do question 4.3. Now, what's happening on 4.3? They want us to, let's look at this. 4.3 consists of 2 questions, by the way. So we have 4.3.1, where they want us to sketch and clearly label the graph of 25 y squared plus 16 x squared minus 400. This is equaling to 0. Look at this equation here, or look at this function here. It's easy to see this graph, what it is. All right, let's just write 4.3.1. Guys, whenever you have the coefficient on x and y, and then here you have a constant here. Usually this is gonna be your eclipse. Remember the graph that looks like an egg. Okay, sometimes it looks like this, sometimes it looks like that. It's not a circle, guys. Okay, be very, very careful. So what you should do here, the standard formula for the eclipse, it's x squared over a squared plus y squared over b squared is equaling to 1. So the aim is to make sure that this equation here is equaling to 1. So let's rewrite it here so that we can have the standard formula here. So we have 25, and then we have y squared. Let's rewrite it. Can I rewrite it and start with x? Let's say we have 16. I'm just rewriting it, guys, squared. Okay, I'm writing starting with 16 plus, since 25 is also plus, it's gonna be 25 y squared, and then this is it. Then we can, if you say equaling sign, so we can take this negative 400 this side, right? If we take this negative 400 this side, we're gonna have positive 400. Okay, now remember the aim is that this equation here must equaling to 1, not 400. So in order for us to have it equaling to 1, we divide by 400. Let's divide by 400. Let's divide by 400. There we go. We are dividing with 400. Now if we divide by 400 here, we're gonna have x squared over 25 plus, now y, we're gonna have y squared over 16, and this is gonna be equaling to 1. Right, so this is now the standard formula or standard notation for the eclipse graph. So what you should know, guys, is that this number here, 25, remember, look at our general formula here. X squared is divided by a squared. So if we to look at the general formula, a squared is going to be 25, right? And then our b squared, remember, y divided by b squared. So we have y divided by 16. So our b squared is going to be 16, right? But then we don't want b squared and a squared. We just want a and b. Let's start with this. So we have to square root both sides, guys. Okay, let's square root both sides. All right, square root both sides. I hope this is gonna be visible. I didn't create enough space here. Let me just write it here. All right, square root both sides. Do you guys see? All right, even this one here, b, we're gonna square root both sides. Okay, remember when you square root, we're trying to get rid of square here. Okay, trying to get rid of square. So if we have a is gonna be, what is the square root of 25? It's gonna be 5. And then b, we're gonna be left with b here. What is square root of 16? It's gonna be 4. All right, now what you should know when you draw our graph here, I'm gonna draw it here, the eclipse. The a, it's actually the x-intercept, and then the b, it's actually the y-intercept, based on this formula here. Remember, a is divided by, remember, x is divided by a, so whatever a is the x-intercept, and then y is divided by b, whatever b is the y-intercept. So let's draw our graph. So when you draw your graph, make sure, guys, when you draw your graph, you show your intercept, okay? Because that's basically what they mark most of the time. All right, so you don't really have to write 1 2 3 4 5. You just have to write the intercept. So this is y, and that is this is y-axis, and this is x-axis. All right, so a, which is y x-axis, so you can say this is gonna be a, okay, which is 5. There we go. And then this one, let's say it's also here. Then you have to measure, guys. This is gonna be 5. Remember, time is not on our side, but this is going to be -5. Time is not on your side, guys, so make sure that you don't waste time. Now let's look at b. B, remember, is a um, y-intercept, so you can put it here. Just make sure the distance between 4 and 4 is less than the distance between 5 and 5, so that it can look appropriate. So we have 4 here, okay, and then this one you can say it's also -4. Now let me use a red uh, marker there so that you can draw a graph. So all you have to do is to connect this intercept. You see, guys, connect this intercept. Now let's try this thing. Sometimes it creates a line sometimes, so I'm gonna try to draw it in a way that it doesn't create a line. There we go, there we go, there we go, there we go. Guys, this is your graph. Even though mine doesn't look so good, but it's supposed to look like something like this. Make sure, guys, you show the intercept here, guys. Make sure you show the intercept. You don't really have to write 0, 5, 5, 0, whatever. You just have to show the intercept. Now this is the graph that they are looking for, and this, guys, is gonna give you how many marks? 3 marks. It makes sense. This is not that difficult, guys. It's a straightforward type of a question. All right, let me just inform you guys, if it so happen that you have a subtraction between y squared and x squared, it's no longer the eclipse. Usually when it's negative y squared or coefficient y squared or coefficient x squared, just know that it's now a hyperparabola. Okay, there is a graph that we call hyperparabola, but when it's plus like that, then it's a eclipse, guys. All right, guys, now let's go and do 4.3.2. This one here, let's do 4.3.2. Guys, this question here, it's 1 mark, so it's a matter of asking a question. They are asking about which axis is the graph of 25y squared plus 16x squared minus 400 equaling to 0. In question 4.3.1, symmetrical, right? So the question is, where, in which axis is this graph here symmetrical? Remember, we have how many axes here? We have 2 axes. We have y-axis, right? And then we have, let me just show you, we have the y-axis here and we have the x-axis. Okay, so they're asking which of these 2 axes, when you cut this graph, you're gonna have half of it. So let's see, if you cut it here, even though my graph is ugly, guys, we're gonna have half of these 2. It's gonna be 5 and also 5, and for 4 is gonna be 4 and 4. If you cut it on the x-axis also, you're gonna have half and half. You're gonna have 4 and 4. So when you answer this one, guys, when you answer this question, which is gonna be 4.3.2, they ask which axis is gonna be symmetrical. You can say x-axis because it's also symmetrical, x-axis or y-axis. Okay, so this, you're gonna get the answer here, because when you cut on the x-axis, we have half of this graph. When you cut on the y-axis, is gonna have half of this graph. Remember, guys, symmetrical, it means half. Okay, basically it means half of the graph. Okay, all right, guys, I hope you managed to get this one. Now we're going to do the next question. So let me pause here so that you can able to do the next question. Right, guys, now it's time for us to do 4.4. Now 4.4, let's see what is it that they want from us here. They say sketch and clearly label the graph of y is equaling to natural log x. So guys, as you can see here, we need to draw a graph of natural log x. There is a way of doing it which is simpler, but I'm gonna show you that way, guys. I think it's gonna be easier. First of all, let me write the function here. We have y is equaling to natural log. Now, remember, this graph here, we know that it's supposed to asymptote somewhere. So if we substitute, for example, let's say we substitute the x with 0, this is gonna give us undefined, okay, or error. So this means asymptote, guys, okay. If you have a let's just say infinity, if you have something like this, undefined error, it just means that at 0 it doesn't cut 0, okay. It asymptotes at x exists. So we know that our graph at some point is supposed to look like this. Oh, it looks so ugly. It's supposed to look like this, okay. Never cut x, never ever cut x. It's supposed to look like this, or it's supposed to look like that. Do you understand, guys? Or on the other side, but we know that it will never ever cut x, because when you say x is 0, it gives us undefined there. In fact, it gives us error on our calculator. So we know that. So now we can use the table. Let's use the table. Now when you use the table, guys, rather use 3 values here, guys. Rather use 3 values. Okay, let's start here. Let's do it. Remember our formula, we just substitute x and then we need to get y values. So we can say 0, 5, this is x and that is y. And then we can also say 1. Make sure 1 is there, guys, okay. 1 is always there. And then we have 2. All right, we cannot use negative answer, because when you substitute with a negative answer number here, it's gonna give us the asymptote as well, the error. So start from any positive number which is less than 1 though, and then you continue. So start with 0,5, then 1, then 2, or 0,5, 0,1, but all you need is only 3 values of x. So let's start. If we substitute here with 0,5, remember, let me just do it here anyway. If we say y is equaling to natural log 0,5, what is our y? So I'm going to write it here. So our y is going to be negative 0,7, right? It's actually 0,69 something, but you can round it off and make it 0,7. But then if you substitute by 1 now, natural log, then you put 1 here, so the answer is gonna be 0. I think that's where it intersects the the y axis. And then what about when you put 2? So if you put 2, okay, this is gonna give us, okay, y is equaling to natural log 2. So you're gonna have something like also positive 0,7. Now let's start drawing the graph here. Let's draw the graph. I hope this is gonna help us. Okay, this is too close to the table. By the way, they don't give you marks for the table, okay. It's to make our life easier, okay. And then we do that. All right, this is 0, that is y, and that is x. Okay, let's look at this. When x is half, so if this is 1 and that is 2, let's make it 1 and that is 2, and let's make this one 1 and that is 2. Remember, we need to make the negative as well, negative 1 and negative 2, and this one is negative 1 and that is negative 2. All right, so let's use the red pen. If x is half, so half is somewhere here, guys, right? Half is in between here. Y is negative. Our y is gonna be negative. What is it? Negative 0, what is it? 0,7. So 0,7 is gonna be somewhere here, and half is gonna be there. So you can do this. Okay, this is half, right? Try to section, and negative 0,7 is somewhere there. Where they intersect, they're gonna give you a dot there. And then when x is 1, what is our y? Okay, when x is y, this is our y. All right, and then when x is 2, so this is 2, what is our y? It's going to be positive. Let's take it there, and that is going to be 2. All right. Okay, guys, I think I made a mistake when I say it asymptote at x. I forgot this is y. It asymptote at y, guys. Okay, this is equaling to y. I hope you can see, guys. I hope this doesn't confuse you. But from there, all you have to do is connect the dots. Okay, so you connect your dots. Let's connect the dots, and that is that. Remember, it doesn't cut y. It only asymptotes at y. So this is our graph, guys. I hope you can able to see this. What matters most here is the intercept. So make sure that you show the values of the intercept, which is 1 and 0. You can even write them here and say 1 and 0, so that you can get your marks there. So this question, it was about 2 marks. So you get 1 mark for a graph, 1 mark for the intercept. So this was very, very simple and straightforward. So they don't mark you for the graph, guys, unfortunately. And remember, guys, I repeat, when x is 0, y is undefined. It means it's gonna asymptote at y. It doesn't cut y. I made a mistake at the beginning of this question. I said it doesn't cut x. No, it's actually it doesn't cut y. All right, guys, now let's pause, and then we will do 4.5. Okay, guys, now let's do 4.5. Now 4.5, what is it that they want here? We are given a graph that we need to sketch and label the graph. So here's the graph here. The graph is y minus 3 equaling to x squared. Now let me just write it here, 4.5. So we have y is equaling to -3, and then this is x squared. Now if we make y substitute the formula, you're gonna have x squared plus 3. All right, now let's find y. When x is 0, what is y? So we are actually looking for the y-intercept when x is 0. So wherever there is y, wherever there is x, we substitute with 0. 0 squared plus 3, and then meaning our y is going to be 3. So the point here, let's call this point A. This point here is going to be 0 and 3. But let's look at the x-intercept. Now if we look at the x-intercept, remember we say when y is 0, what is x? Now taking it from here, look, when y is 0, we're gonna have x squared plus 3. We're gonna take 3 to the other side. We're gonna have x squared minus 3. As you can see, we have to square root here and square root there, but this is gonna be undefined, invalid. So basically this means that we don't have the x-intercept. We don't have the x-intercept. Now how about we look for the turning point now? So the turning point, TP, the turning point, we know that the formula for x is gonna be, let me just erase this very quickly. The formula for x here is gonna be negative b over 2a. So what is our b? When you look at this, b is gonna be 0. Remember, we don't have b here. We don't have the x. And b is a coefficient of x. We only have x squared and constant. So b is 0 over 2a, which is a is 1 here. So our x is gonna be 0. But what about the y-intercept? The y coordinate of the turning point. So we take it from the original, we substitute with the y the x coordinate. So we have done that before, guys. You can see this here where x is 0. So this point here, this point A, it's actually a turning point and also the y-intercept. So you can also write it as a TP, right? Because whenever x is 0, we substitute it here. As you can see, y is gonna be 3. So it's the same as the turning point. So let's draw our graph. Let me just open a space here for a bit. So your graph is supposed to look like this, guys. Okay. Let me just, this line doesn't want to be straight. Let's do it. Doesn't look so good. Doesn't look so good. Now let's do this. There we go. Much better. Much better. Alright, so look, our x-intercept, our y-intercept is gonna be here. Let's call this one 3, positive 3. Remember, x must be 0. Our turning point is also here. So since when we look at our graph, our equation here, if a is positive, meaning our graph is gonna be facing up. Remember, guys, when a is positive, the graph is facing up. If a is negative, the graph is facing down. So we don't have the x-intercept, so your graph is gonna look like this. Since we don't have the intercept, your graph is gonna turn here, going up like that, and it's gonna turn there, going up like that. That is your graph, guys. So this is 2 marks, y and x. So they mark the intercept and also the shape of the graph. I hope you guys understood how we do this one. Guys, before you go to the next video, I'd like to inform you guys that I've made part 1. I've made question 1, question 2, and question 3 videos. They will appear at the end of this video on the playlist. So guys, here what you should do, just click on that playlist and it will show you part 1, 2, 3, 4, which is this one, and also part 5 as well, if you want to watch them in a sequence order. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel and click the bell notification so that when I upload question 5, you will be able to see it. Okay guys, if there is anything that you want to ask, or I made a mistake somewhere that I didn't clarify, please notify me, because I've been doing this and it takes almost an hour to do it, so mistake are bound to happen. But anyway guys, if you like the video and it really helped you, don't forget to like the video, share this video to your friends, and let me see you guys, or let's meet when we do part question 5 of this question video. Till next time guys, cheers.